Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here at the Sydney Mining Club, and again, I'd like to thank the organisers for doing this Rare Earth Day, and on such an iconic event. I've been dead keen to do this for some time, and I finally, I think, have the project to deliver that. And that project is the recent discovery of Jupiter, and it's a large-scale, high-grade, clay-hosted project or deposit located in Tier 1 jurisdiction of the Midwest region of Western Australia. And I'm going to talk a fair bit about the location and also about the record drill intersections that we've been achieving over the short time period that this has occurred. Here's our disclaimer. So Jupiter, back in early February, just before the Explorers Conference, we delivered an intersection of 48 metres at over 3,000 ppm total rare earths, which is a very high-grade clay-hosted rare earth intersection. We've also started delivering results, and these are 2 metre comps at over 2% total TREO, which we'll obviously talk about a fair bit, total rare earth oxides. The other great thing about this discovery, we're sitting between one, we've got excellent access infrastructure. We've got a highway and gas pipeline, and we're located between 2 processing facilities. One of those being currently built is the Iluka refinery at Eneabba, and I'll show you that in a bit more detail. Venture's been very much about tin and tungsten for a very long time in Tasmania. We've spent $50 million, been working that since 2007. Many shareholders ask me what we're doing with it, and right now we're working on the flow sheet, the back end, the tailing stream where we've got boron and tin sitting there. So looking to reverse engineer Chinese and Russian technology to extract more value at a revenue stream to make that a bigger underground mine. So we're waiting for that work as part of a Trailblazer hub to be completed. And we've engaged Argonaut PCF to try and extract some value out of the Riley iron ore project while the iron ore prices are high. Bit of a corporate snapshot, trading at 2 cents, market cap 45 million. We had just under $3 million in the bank as of the end of March, a little bit less now because of the drilling campaign. Still got an EV of 42 million. So you can see that share price increase there since February. That day we announced we doubled the price and we traded 235 million shares. So a pretty strong response to that intersection of 48 metres at 3,000 ppm. We have 8,000 shareholders. It's very much a retail stock. Dale Elphinstone, who's one of Tasmania's richest guys and famous for outdoor industry, is still a major shareholder of the company. The board, we're going through a bit of a change at the moment. Mel Ashton, the chairman, has told the market he's stepping down, so we're in the process of getting a new chair. As part of that event back in October last year, Philippa Leggett came on board. She's currently on in a rare earth company that's looking to list in London, on an asset in Madagascar with Harina, so they've got a little bit of rare earth experience. Otherwise, myself and Stuart Owen and even Hamish Halliday, who's still consulting to us, we're all been part of the journey with Venture since 2006. I won't talk about vast range of projects. The Tasmanian assets are very mature, but around about 2015 we decided to go into Western Australia. We've got a nice collection of projects, including a JV with Chalice, which was a great idea about 3 years ago when our market cap was $200 million, but it seems a bit more of a poison chalice at the moment. So, but anyway, JV still exists. We have a JV with Sensor, which is an AI technology company, which is now Premier One Lithium. That's at Golden Grove. We retain the rare earth rights, so that's to the west of Jupiter. But I'll focus on Jupiter today, and we'll hear more about it. I won't talk much about rare earths. I think most people know about it. A colleague of mine said that a little bit of rare earths and everything makes it go better. So, that's pretty much good enough for me, but it's all those critical aspects, decarbonisation. It's very important, particularly the magnet rare earths, dysprosium, praseodymium, neodymium, terbium. They're the 4 key, more particularly the NdPrs. But we're trying to decouple ourselves, the Western world, if you like, from China, geopolitical risk. Location. That's what's the prime asset here at Jupiter. We have a highway running through, and I'll show you a picture of that a bit later on. It's got trucks running through it every 10 minutes. It's 300 kilometres from the Port of Geraldton. We have a gas pipeline next to the road. We can drive to Jupiter on unencumbered access. We've got all the tenure that gets to the Jupiter project. We're located 250 kilometres from Iluka's Eneabba refinery, which they're currently building with assistance from the federal government as part of the critical mineral strategy. And that is besides the 20 kilometres from Jupiter to the bitumen road, it is bitumen all the way to Eneabba, and we're also 500 kilometres from Linus's Mount Weld concentrator. So well located next to two existing processing facilities, or about to be existing in the case of Eneabba, but also we've got a great infrastructure should we want to build something there. Okay, how did Jupiter come about? And the great thing about Jupiter is that this is a discovery based upon having found some rare earths in Tasmania. We decided, and look, it was clay hosted as well, we were quite interested in it, and we found an 1800 ppm result sitting at the surface from geological survey mapping. So this was vacant ground. You're sitting between Mount Magnet and Golden Grove. It is, on a geological map, pink, boring, nothing's out there, no one goes looking out there. So the Geological Survey does great coverage in Western Australia. It's got broad gravity, broad mag, and this attracted somebody to do some work on this, and I'll explain that in a bit more detail. But we pegged the land holding based upon that. The Bandy project out to the east had the highest result. The Brothers had the third highest result. As we moved on, we did a JV on the Iron Duke project, which are those tenements in green you can see, and there's a guy there who got co-funding from the state government back in 2020, drilled two 61-metre holes, 200 metres apart on what he thought was another Mount Weld discovery. Very shallow drilling. He did a little bit of soils, very, very basic data, drilled out, very shallow holes, walked away from it. A gold company picked the asset up, and it's part of a private gold company, which was going to be listed but isn't now. And we did the JV with them, which was 250 grand to get to 51%, another 500 grand to get to 70%, which is where we are at the moment. We pegged more ground around it. We had that, you can see to the north, 10 k's to the north of Jupiter, which is, again, in that green area, green tenure. There's mineralisation, but there's that laterite sample, which I spoke about before. So at the surface, which is highly encouraging in terms of ionic capabilities. We drilled the first program, the maiden program, back in June last year, and we got some pretty exciting results. You know, we got 40 to 50 metres running 1500 ppm. We had a high-grade core of 10 to 15 metres at 2 to 2,500 ppm total rare earth oxides. So pretty exciting results, but Jupiter, still unnamed at this stage, is sitting in this area here. Then came the moratorium on drilling in Western Australia thanks to the Heritage Act. So it changed, and basically everyone was scared to drill from about 1st of July till about the end of October. So we decided to earn our equity, let's go and do geophysics. So zooming into that now, that's the mag on the left-hand side, and that's the gravity on the right-hand side. So the geologist drew a dotted line around it, and that became the Jupiter target. So it's defined by geophysics, potentially hard rock targets, but we were going to be focused on the clay. We had a little bit of deeper drilling. We understood potential as an alkaline intrusion target, not a carbonatite, probably a cyanide intrusion, but the scale of it and the size of it is still to be determined. And so off we went. We did some more assaying on those original holes. We got 11 metres at 3,000 ppm. That's down to 1 metre split. So the grade was clearly there, but then finally we were allowed to drill on the ground. And in November we drilled 25 RC holes, and we started getting more consistent results. You'll see through our announcements, 20 to 30 metre widths at over 2,000 ppm, sitting within 50, 60, 70 and now nearly 80 metres of 1,500 ppm zones, starting at like 20 metres deep, some case 5, and getting down to 100 metres. So huge scale, over to 40 square kilometres. That's what's exciting about this target. We then drilled a first stage resource definition drill program in December, 5,000 metres, and put the samples in the lab on the 22nd of December. And this is the record results we got. I just got the top 10 here because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see the target. Some exciting results. There's the 48 metres at 3,000 ppm. 600 metres away, it's 30 metres at 3,100 ppm. And right at the edge, the western edge of the deposit, the other yellow labelled, is the 79 metres at 1,805 ppm. with 16 metres at 6,000 ppm. These are pretty sensational grades, and very similar to some of our other peers out in the industry. More importantly, very similar to a company that's got a market cap that's probably 10 times higher, Meteoric in Brazil. So just remember that when I talk about those, they've got 409 million tonnes at around about 2,600 ppm at the moment. Our market cap's 45, like I said previously, they're around about 10 times our market cap at the moment. And when I start looking at these numbers, and it doesn't take much rocket science to work it out, 40 square kilometres times 20 metres thick, that's the conservative number, times the density of 2 to make it simple, it's 1.5 billion tonnes. And we've drilled this out now. At this stage it was 1K to 500 metre spacing back in December. We started getting higher grade results of neodymium and praseodymium, which I've can point to in this slide. It's 5,000 ppm. We're starting to get higher grade numbers as we get more holes, more results above 1% or 10,000 ppm. Same sort of percentages, 23% magnet rare earths, low uranium, low thorium. Sounds like a bit of a broken record, but consistency is what we're achieving here in this project in the very, very early stage. We needed to secure our land position, which I showed previously, so we pegged some more land. We're now connecting that 10-kilometre bridge, if you like, between that intersection we received back in the early first stage of 45 metres at 1,500 ppm. We have now unencumbered access. We've pegged all the remaining high priority targets in the area. We've got 1,350 square kilometres of this. So there's a lot more work to be done in this area. But at last batch of results, which we announced back on the 16th of April, had the second, third and fourth best results to date. And this is the guys on the rig. We had to actually run up there because we drilled this program in 4 weeks, 14,000 metres. It's $27 a metre. It's air core, blade refusal. It happened much faster than we expected. And we got up there and saw the team, saw the guys in action. Typically, the rig broke down when I turned up. Anyway, call it MD luck. But anyway, I went away and magically the rig started working again. But the guys did a great job. When you tell the driller, how's it going? And he just smiles and he goes, mate, this is 600 metres a day. This is like drilling Swiss cheese. So it's all moved very quickly and very cheaply. Our assaying costs the same as the drilling. So we're doing, 2 metre comps. Now we're pushing it out to 4 metre comps because the ore body's so large and so consistent. So yeah, great results. We've got up to 2.7% in assays. We're getting, if you like, our own project records every time we do more work. But those 250 holes got us down to a 250 by 500 metre spacing, which means we'll be able to get a maiden resource out probably in the middle of the year. We'll look to engage probably CSA Global to do that work. We've had preliminary discussions. And like I said, we're expecting that figure to be north of 1 billion tonnes and north of 2,000 ppm. So very significant high-scale project. This is got some serious footprint to it. There it is. Cross-section, 7 kilometres long, low strip ratio, mineralisation's open in all directions. I'm pretty excited about this. We expected potentially there's another halo around it, but we're just focusing on the 40 square kilometres because otherwise, if we would have drilled the entire 1,300 square kilometres, we'd be here forever. But we're just going to focus because we've got plenty of tonnes here and plenty of grade. So in summary, just moving through quite quickly, we're going to focus on the 40 square kilometres. We're 300 kilometres from Port of Geraldton. We're getting a 90% success rate on our drilling. And some of the ones that haven't been successful are the ones that have hit bedrock, 10 metres down. So we haven't got much grade out of those. They're a bit lower grade because the clay exposure hasn't been huge there. Like I said, intersect 20 to 30 metre widths over 2,000 ppm very consistently. Now up to about 79 metres. The intersection went from 20 to 99 metres. We have some very high grade neodymium results, praseodymium, dysprosium and terbium and samarium as well. And what we're seeing is different pockets of different styles of mineralisation. Mineralisation that may suit, for example, Iluka with a low uranium and thorium, or places that may suit our Mount Weld project in terms of searching for those heavies. They're looking for these type of clays, rich zone, enriched in the magnet rare earths and more in the heavy rare earths. So because of the scope of this, we could easily have 1 square kilometre containing any one of those parcels of ore, or we could have 1 square kilometre of ionic clay. We simply do not know. We've employed a PhD in geometallurgy She was up there on site. We've re-logged all the holes. We're classifying ore types. We're going to do the mineralogy of those, put those in, and then determine some metallurgical pathways. So once we start learning, once you know the mineralogy, then you can start predicting what metallurgical pathways you have, and we'll be able to inform the market. So we know about that before our maiden resource comes out in the middle of the year. So like I said before, the infrastructure is super important. Here's just a couple of photos I just wanted to show you. In the middle of that photo in the distance, we just flew the drone up here. That's the drill rig. That's what it looks like. It is sparse. No humans. They're mustering. There's no cattle there at the moment. So this is very subsistence, pastoral land. If you've ever been to the Midwest, this is just typical. Highest tree is probably 3 metres. It's a great place to build a mine. There's no native title. There is no endangered flora and fauna. We get our tenements approved quickly, and we get our PRWs, Program of Work for Drilling, approved very quickly. There's a gas pipeline running through. It's myself and Chairman Mel Ashton sitting there. We drive over that gas pipeline. It's obviously well buried. And this is the road. This is heading, looking out back towards Geraldton. There's a truck there every 10 minutes. We turn it there. We thought we missed a truck, have to wait for half an hour. But there's quads, there's triples, going backwards and forwards all the time. So, certainly access to infrastructure. Like I say, it's remote, yet it's close to infrastructure. There's no people. This is not like being near the Amazon. There's nothing fertile. There's nothing growing. There's no farmers. There's no people. So what I like about this, it's permittable. And besides the grade, which is very important, and the tonnage, which is also very important, as well as the met. But the great thing about it is it's in Western Australia, and it couldn't be in a better spot, in my opinion. Next steps, we've completed 250 drill holes. You'll start to see those assays filter through in the next week or so, the first batch. And we're expecting each time we drill more holes to get better results, which is a great sign. So I expect to see the same again. Metallurgical test work, like I said, has begun with the mineralogical work, and the maiden clay-hosted resource is towards the middle of the year. I won't talk any more about the other projects at this stage because the focus today is rare earths. But like I said, we think that we're pretty much in a position where we've propelled ourselves well above the peers in this in terms of grade and scale in this sector. The value proposition of a quick resource delivered, a quick large resource delivered in a short space of time and cost effectively. Mount Lindsay will continue to do the work on that. That's obviously tin and tungsten are critical minerals around the world, so they're important, and we're looking to extract some short-term value out of our Riley Iron Ore project. Thank you. Any questions?
What's the total heavy rare earths in a percentage, if that's possible?
I'm going to give you a very boring answer, but as other guys have said exactly the same, I'm going to say it's about 20% for the NdPr and about 3% for the heavies.
Did you say no native title? Was that there was no native title?
Correct. Yeah,
How is that?
It's been extinguished.
How has native title been extinguished? How is that?
Claimants make a claim, and if the claim they can't prove access to the land, then it's rejected. Now, not to say there won't be claimants, but it's certainly at this early stage. But we're not sort of flippant about the heritage stuff, and even looking at flora and fauna, we'll have to do that survey work anyway, without doubt, because these areas just haven't been explored, they haven't been looked at. So that's there's no data at this stage. So that's kind of where we currently stand with that position. But yeah, so far so good.
Hi, Andrew. I'm as a investor, I'm very impressed with this project. My question is, what is your time frame to get this project to mining? Is it going to take as long as Mount Lindsay?
Yeah. Oh, look, Mount Lindsay is a different, totally different sort of project. Besides the fact that it's the scale of this asset makes it stand out, the location, permitting. But we're at the start of the journey now, and I had a question. Someone asked me a question. Well, how are you going to get a permit for a 40 square kilometre pit? And as I've said to several people, it's a bit like eating an elephant. It's one bite at a time. We're going to try and find optimise the best places to get the most economic extraction first. If there's 100 million tonnes of ionic material there, we'll mine that first. The cheap stuff, if there's material to beneficiate and truck to Mount Weld or to Eneabba, we'll mine that later. We'll optimise that. So the scale gives us so many opportunities. And 1 square kilometre can give you 50 million tonnes. So that's the enormity of it. 100 million tonnes is plenty. So let's not forget that. I drove 7 kilometres from one north-south and then east-west, and then that's going, well, my God. And people are, if you ever get up there and have a look, you'll be, if you want to go and walk it, go for it or run it. Maybe we'll have the Jupiter run one day. The enormity of the scale gives us so much opportunity, flexibility, and let's not forget the depth potential. We haven't put a hole hardly deep at all. We're going to get some nice, deep targets from this drilling because we've got the bottom of the rock, we're going to map the entire base of it, and because it's intrusion, it's going to be different bits here. There's a project in Canada, for example, which is iron rich, and we're seeing a lot of magnetite because that's what it's a magnetic anomaly for, and that's rich in scandium. So, who knows? Time will tell.
Are you looking at MOUs with the Lucia and what do you call it, and Linus, what we speak?
What we'll do is we'll get an idea what we got first, and then we'll let them probably approach us. But if we can deliver what they want, then I'm sure we'll be talking in the near future.